Evening, I'm Dan Wolf. Laura's on assignment. Thanks for joining us. All eyes might be on incoming Hurricane Milton, but Helene's damage is still causing a lot of suffering. Northern News Now's Isabella Zadra takes a look at what's being done here in the Twin Ports to help the storm's victims.
After a touching message during last Sunday's service, members of Eastridge Community Church felt inspired to lend a hand to those still affected by Hurricane Helene.
We just decided we needed to do something, and we decided to combine our efforts across the city to make a difference.
The church, along with other local businesses, are running a relief drive, setting up trailers throughout the city looking to collect donations for people of Appalachia, an area highly affected by Hurricane Helene. Senior pastor of the church, Tom Asbury, says the reason their drive focuses on the Appalachia area is because it has never seen flooding or a hurricane quite like this before. For him, the spot also hits a personal chord, having friends who live in the area.
I still have friends that I can't get in touch with. Their phones won't ring. I think they're okay, but I'm not 100% sure on everybody.
Local business Kiwi Bros Trucking also has some personal ties to the Appalachias. The reason they have partnered with the church and are driving the donations free of charge.
You know, our company we have a lot of drivers that live in that area, so we don't just have people that travel through there, we have people that are domiciled there that live there.
Kiwi Bros Trucking is happy to be a part of the relief drive. They saw the collaboration as an opportunity for them to use their resources to help those who need it.
Why not join up with some great groups and for some good cause and shuttle some stuff down to Carolina?
In Duluth, Isabella Zadra, Northern News Now.
And that drive runs through October 20th and may also include help for Milton victims. You can find out where those trailers are and what donations are needed at northernnewsnow.com.